Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Spill in the Teacups podcast. We have something different for you than our typical episodes. This is just kind of something fun. We thought that it would be just a little like a good idea to have little solo episodes where you learn a little bit more about me and Lauren and Dawn separately. And we chose our bestie, Brandon Mullen from Orlando. And he is, my best friend for ages. And he actually, why we chose Brandon is he was actually there on the cruise where Lauren, Dawn, and I met. So, what better person than to have Brandon here to kind of be our little MC and interview each of us for our little solo episodes? So, Brandon, go ahead and tell everyone a little bit about yourself and then let's jump into it.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brandon. I am Jill's bestie that suckered me into going on the Disney Wish cruise, which was not much suckering because I was so excited to go on it. And yeah, I am a former Disney cast member. I worked for Disney. Met Jill in 20, not 20,
Yeah, right.
2007. Wow, we're really not that
Old.
old, I promise. We're not. I'm really young, you should tell. So 2007 we met and we've been best friends, family ever since. And we literally have done everything together when it comes to Disney. But I stayed working at Disney for a total of 14 years. And I don't work for Disney anymore. Sad
Recent
day,
change.
but
Mhm.
thank you, COVID-19. But it's okay. We're still a Disney fanatic. I have two tattoos of Disney somethings, and I am an annual pass holder. I live in Orlando, Florida, right down the street. So Disney is just everything to me. I'm a big fan of the Spill in the Teacups podcast. I listen to it as soon as they come out, may or may not make critiques about it, and I send it to Dawn and Lauren and Jill and say this was supposed to be different. But it's okay. They're amazing and they're amazing travel planners. And I just wanted to see a part where I could like ask them questions about being a Disney travel planner and what's that like?
Mhm.
So I think it'd be fun to like get to know them as a Disney travel planner and not just three ladies that talk about Disney. Get to know
Right.
them one on one about it. It'd be good.
Let's dive in.
All right. I have a couple questions and then we'll get kind of like raw in some of the questions. But so, as we all know, Jill, you are a Disney travel planner, authorized Disney travel agent. So, you get to plan Disney vacations for whoever the heck you want to.
Mhm.
What I want to know is how do you like become one of your eight guests? Like, how do you get to just get a travel agent? Like,
Yeah,
how does
so,
that happen?
I've been doing this now for little over 5 years now, and so they gradually I get clients different now than when I first started. First started, it was just friends and family and maybe friends of friends or friends of family, and now that I've been doing it now for half a decade, I don't know, people just enter enter into my emails, or someone connects me via text message, or I am on Facebook and Instagram, and I will kind of sometimes like pop into neighborhood Facebook groups and people will find me through social. But predominantly it is word of mouth. That's how we are. And it's a common misconception. People will like ask me questions after they've already booked. And like, we are paid through the traveling place. So if you want to the access to all of that insight from us, please book your trip through us. Like, of course, we'll answer questions and everything, but that's how we're paid is through your your travel, your vacation.
Okay. So that's like a big misconception of that
Mhm.
is, so tell me, like, how are you paid? Like, if I book a travel with you and I want to go to Disneyland or
Mhm.
wherever, Disney World, how are you getting paid? Like, am I paying for that?
Absolutely
Because
not. Like, that's
I
the
don't want
thing
to pay
is
you.
there
You're
is
my friend.
no there is no additional cost when booking through a travel agent. And that, like you said, like a most common misconception. We are like our Disney and Universal and hotels in general, the travel industry in general works in an amount of like commission, right? And if you book through Disney directly yourself, Disney gets to eat that money. Right? They don't have to pay that commission out. They get to eat that extra money, and you're just giving one of the most, wealthy companies ever. Just they're just eating that little money. So it helps support small businesses if you book through us because then we just get, I mean, it's a small amount. We don't get paid a lot to do this business. We do it because we love it. It's fun. I live vicariously through all of my traveling parties. So like I'm quoting a family actually tonight. They're, family of 6 going down for, a long weekend at the holidays because they just want to see Disney at Christmas. And I get to live vicariously through them, and that's the fun part.
That's awesome. Why did you do this job? Like, why?
Um, well, it started I mentioned this, I think, in a podcast I was a guest on recently. I started, climbing out of my debt-free journey. And fun fact, everyone, Brandon Mullen works for a credit union and is part of my debt-free journey. So anyway, yeah, I started my debt-free journey, living and trying to crawl myself out of student loan debt. So I used to help friends and family. I'm a former cast member. Again, like Brandon said, I met him down there in 2007. And I started this as kind of a side job and just something to make a little extra money. And at that point, I think I was making, gosh, this is full transparency, like $2,000 a year doing this. I mean, it was a small amount, but it was anything that I could do to earn extra money. I was coaching, tutoring, I was helping, plan Disney vacations, anything to pay off my student loan debt. Fun fact, 2021, I did. January 2021, I made my last debt payment ever. Um, and and my business has grown, so it's helped do that. So that's why I started that, and it's fun. Like it really is. It can be stressful because you are helping and organizing other people's trip, other people's like that responsibility that's on your shoulders to make sure that everything's right, everything's processed, everything's paid, everything's linked to my Disney experience. Like all of that is stressful, but it's a good stress because it's fun and I like it.
Okay, I love that. So you mentioned you're doing everything for them. Like,
Mhm.
what do I not have to do? Or what do I have to do? I wanna know, is everything done, or do I just show up to Disney World at the Boardwalk Resort and give them my ID and, like, check in my room and everything's done? Or, like, what do I do?
Yeah, I mean, each agent is different on what they will and will not do. So I can only speak for me. And Dawn and Lauren and I are all pretty much we're like one human when it comes to this job. Um, so you have to create yourself a My Disney Experience account. And as anyone who has visited Disney in the last decade, everything is linked to My Disney Experience. It is your account. You have to create it and put your information in there and your traveling party. So that's kind of what I give my clients their first homework assignment is, hey, while we're kind of developing what would be your best package, go on this website, create yourself an account, and so that you have it, share that login information if you're comfortable with your travel agent. Because I like my Disney experience, I'm in it almost daily. So I know where everything is. Now, if that makes you uncomfortable, I will give my clients how-tos. Like, you need to go here, you need to go here, because everything links to that. I pretty much do everything else. Um, Dining reservations, there's a little like tricky parts with dining. It does open at 6 a.m. I get my kid on the bus at 6 a.m. So, or 6:45. So that 6 to 6:45 is really busy for me as a single mom getting my kid up on the bus. So I do tell people, if you want me to do your dining, I will gladly help you reserve your dining. Just know that I will be on that dining website at 7 a.m., not 6 a.m. So if they have like a certain reservation they just really want to get on and they're going to be right there, by all means, I help coach them to do that themselves at 6 a.m. But yeah, I'm on at 7 a.m.
Okay. So you do pretty much everything. That's cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
park reservations, dining reservations,
Okay.
build
Do
a
you know how
droid,
many
all of that.
oh my goodness. Do you know how many Disney trips you have planned so far in your career as an authorized Disney travel planner?
As a career,
Mhm.
like over the last 5 years,
Mhm.
oh gosh, I don't know. Um, maybe I should have known that. Um, if I were to ballpark, I mean, we're gonna count like people that I just get tickets for. Because fun fact, if you want to just go to the park because you're staying on a timeshare or you're staying via DVC, Disney Vacation Club points, um, I can you can purchase tickets through us. I mean, I'm gonna count those. So like 1 to 12 years, I mean 12 months out of the year. Let's do, oh my God, I don't know, 70 just for this
Oh,
year.
wow. Just
So
for this year.
yeah.
You've booked 70 trips. Like, I've helped do you know
Yeah,
how many
maybe
people you've helped?
maybe 60 if you're including Disney Cruise Line and Universal, because I also do Universal Studios. So
Mm,
yeah, so let's
fun
say maybe
fact.
60 this year. I've got, I'm helping two other families right now currently for Christmas vacations. So maybe I'll get to 70 by the end of the year.
Okay, that's cool. So, now think back in all the 70 that you've done this year or whatever,
Mhm, mhm,
total hundreds of different people and memories that
mhm,
you've made for
mhm,
them.
mhm,
Tell me and tell now the listeners, what
mhm,
is the most memorable trip
mm,
that you have made for one of your guests?
mm. Um, each one is unique in their own. Anytime you're taking first kids, like kids down for their first trip, those are my favorite to plan. And like I just had a friend recently, a high school friend that reconnected with me, and she took her girls for the first time, and like that was a really fun story. Um, I, I planning for my cousin and his wife, and they took their little girl down for the first time, and like the pictures they sent me. I mean, yeah, it's family, but my goodness, it melted my heart to see her, because she was nervous with her daughter has a little social anxiousness, right? With strangers and stuff. And so she was nervous that she would hate it. And she loved the characters and loved the floats in the parade. And so seeing that, or hearing about that, that melted my heart. Most
Mhm.
recent, I have clients that are down there right now, and they're repeat clients of mine. I think they travel every year with me, and he sent me a video of them hugging Winnie the Pooh. And like every time something like that happens, I love what I do because of those moments.
As we all know, Disney is all about making just that magical memory, and it's all about the experience, it's all about everything that you do in the parks and everything. Has there ever been a time where that experience wasn't so good and you had to do some serious recovery?
Like for myself or for a client?
A client.
Mm. Um, here's something. So I've had a client that traveled, and it was a pretty big vacation, and their room wasn't ready. Their room wasn't ready. Their room wasn't ready, and they were pretty bummed about it. Um, and I will sometimes hear, like, they'll complain to me, or they'll voice their frustration. But once you enter Disney property, your travel agent no longer has access to that reservation. Like, as soon as you check in at Walt Disney World, I no longer can access that reservation. So, like, yes, you can complain to us, and yes, we hear your frustration. Let us be the place that you vent to. But unfortunately, like, I can't touch your reservation. So of course, usually if that's the case and I know that things are touchy, I will check in every once in a while and just be like, how are things? How are things? Because we do get texts from clients being like, do you know the best way to get here? Or do you know the best way to get here? But I don't know if that answered your question. But
No, it does. And
I haven't had very many unhappy. It's hard to be unhappy in Disney, but
mhm.
that's really it.
It's good. I wanted to know a little bit about like being the travel agent part of it and doing that stuff because listeners need to know, what is it that they're getting themselves into. And that's very helpful. That's a
And
good
you know what's
question that you
actually
asked.
great? It's one thing that you said that is, like, do your research, right? Like, if you like, go on there, look at the Disney website, do your research, figure out what you want. If you know what you want, those are our best clients. Like, you want to stay here, you want this many days of tickets. Tell us that. And actually, it's fantastic when I have a client that's like, "Hey, I'm looking at this deal," and they screenshot the deal and send it to me. I can go, because we see the same system. Like, again, we're not upselling you at all. So we just go into the system and I try to match exactly what they did. And if I find discounts, or we are, so we get emails all the time from Disney, like Disney travel agents, like, from Disney has their own website for travel agents. So we get emails all the time. So every time a deal drops, it is in my inbox that day. And so, where you would probably not know of a Disney deal unless you see it on a commercial, see it on a Facebook ad, right? Or see it come up on your feed at all. Now, you're an annual pass holder, you probably get annual pass holder discounts in your email inbox, but that's it. So we get those discounts in our inbox immediately when they're dropped. If one drops after you book, I see that. I know I have a list of clients that are traveling within that window. So over the next couple days, I go in there and I'm like trying to save you money, to where if you booked that trip by yourself, no one's watching your discounts. So
Mm, that's good. So you can rebook somebody to get the new discount if
it's
something
not even
comes
a
up that's
rebook.
already
It's like a
just
modification.
edit, cute,
Edit. Mm-hmm.
perfect. I
Mm-hmm.
love it. Okay, okay. So enough about that part of your job and what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to know Jill. I call you Jill, Jillian, I call you other names
We're
whenever things are getting
gonna
saucy.
keep this PG.
Yeah, Disney is all about the characters.
Uh-huh.
Fun fact, I was a character attendant, as you know, for 13 and a half of those 14 years. And I got to see those stories that you just said, and I got to witness kids and families
Yeah.
meeting characters for the first time. And people always ask, who's your favorite character? Or what was your favorite character you like to work with? And I have a different answer for both. So, what is your favorite character? Or who is your favorite character?
Who's my least favorite character?
Yeah.
Who's my favorite character? Well, it depends. Like, if you're like, hey, like, my favorite character on TV is different than my favorite character at the parks. And you know this because you're a character attendant. And each character, like, when on stage, has a unique little personality. And so anytime you're meeting Donald, you're going to have a fun time, right? Because he's sassy. Anytime you meet Goofy, he's going to do something silly because he's goofy. I love Stitch. Like, I love meeting Stitch because Stitch is like, rarely do you meet like a lame Stitch. Um, any princess is fun to me. Like Mary Poppins and Bert, love to marry, like love to meet and greet them.
Okay. What character do you feel that um what character do you feel that you resonate your personality with the most?
What character resonates my personality? Ooh, I want you to answer this question for me. I am going to say Rapunzel. And don't ask me why. I don't know why. I just relate to her every time I sing and watch Tangled. Like I relate to that. To I don't know, her energy. What would you say? What would you say? Ooh, or Anna.
Hmm.
I've been watching a lot of Frozen up in this house recently, so I have a 3-year-old who's
Okay.
obsessed.
I can see where you would say Rapunzel.
Locked in a tower.
Yep,
No.
being a kept person, but but I don't
I don't know.
I could say what I want you to be. I think if I had to pick a character that you need to be is a Moana,
Amen. I was thinking the same thing, but I ain't as brave as her. I mean,
but everybody
Chica's
should
got it,
be.
right? But I
She's got
should
it.
be, right? We all should be like Moana, right?
Yes.
Determined to pursue what we feel is
Mhm.
right and fighting for our family and fighting for those that we love and not taking no for an answer when we know we're on the right path. Like a
Yes.
trailblazer, that one.
Yes. Like, don't give up. Keep
Mm-hmm.
going.
Yeah.
And when you get something in your way, fight through it.
Mm-hmm. Me and Brandon actually met Moana for the first time together.
Yes, that
Where?
was
Where, Brandon? Where did we
um
go? Where?
Disney's Aulani Resort in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
We met Moana
Mm-hmm. In
in Hawaii.
Hawaii. Mm-hmm.
That was hands down
Mm-hmm.
that moment. I was that person that looked at the chip hotline. If you know what the chip hotline is, what is the chip hotline, Jill?
It's
You don't know?
where you can call and figure out where and when characters are.
Yes. And then now it's on the My Disney Experience app. It's
Mm-hmm.
super easy.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew where Moana was going to be. And I was the first one in line. I waited because I've been that character attendant and saw the guests, so I know the tea. But I waited in line and waited, and she walked out. Oh, that was so cool.
Uh-huh.
And then Jill's 5-year-old, was he 5 at the time?
He was not quite 5.
He's
Almost
almost
5.
5.
Mm-hmm.
I told him, listen, buddy, I don't care who you are, how old you are, but this is my turn. I'm meeting this. I'm like,
Gunkel goes first.
I go first. You are after me. I'm a kid. Like when it comes to meeting characters, I'm a kid. I love the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, they're the best. And you're right. Working with Stitch was a pain in the you know what because he is annoying,
Sassy.
but
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
it's fine. I get it. Like it's cute, but glad to know. Okay, so you're thinking Rapunzel. Okay, that's cute, cute. Um, so if you were going on a Disney trip, do you recommend Genie Plus?
This is I have been and used Genie Plus, and I have been and not used Genie Plus. So I'm gonna say I recommend it if it is a yellow or red day for sure. However, you get into some, shark-filled waters when it is a red day. What I'm saying by a red day meaning like what? High park capacity, right?
Mhm.
So you have green days and yellow days and red days if you look at some like park capacity calendars. And you have, like, if you're going Christmas break, you're going to want it. However, it's going to be more expensive and they're going to go faster, I feel, because more people are using it. So you need to be on it, and you may not be able to use it to your best advantage. Do you agree with that statement?
Yep.
Okay. So on a yellow day, where ride times, like wait times, are just a slightly elevated, for sure you're going to utilize it to like the max capacity. If you are savvy enough to use your phone and use it right. On like days where it's not that crowded, I just say the rides that are the most popular, just hit it rope drop, or those 30 minutes before park opens that a Disney resort guest can go to, like go straight to Slinky Dog or go straight to Mine Train and get into the line. Like, I am an avid rope dropper for Animal Kingdom, and I just go straight to Flight of Passage and wait the whatever 30 minutes, 35 minutes in that rope drop line and not have to pay the $15 to $20 a day for Stinking Genie Plus. But now I will pay the Lightning Lane Plus to ride me some Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, sure, I'll throw down $4.70 or $7 to go ride Guardians. Do you agree?
It's worth it. I agree.
I
And if you
agree.
have not done Guardians of the Galaxy, you better do it. It is life
Right.
changing.
Like,
Your
I was
whole
going to
world
pay
goes.
$11 to go ride Tron when I was there last time. But then I was like, it's late. I'm going to go and I'll get it next time. But, like, that's my
Yeah,
opinion.
I wouldn't pay it for Tron, but I would pay it for Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my honest annual pass holder opinion. Um, okay, so
You better ask Dawn and Lauren both that question too, because I'm gonna be interested to hear their answers. I
okay,
think I think
well,
we got time for like one or two more questions.
okay, so you said you do Universal as well.
I do.
What do you recommend more, Disney or Universal?
Different trip. Different trip.
Why?
Like, okay, why? If you're going down here, I'll rapid fire it. If you have older kids, Universal's going to be fun. If you have little kids, it sucks. And here's why. Okay. Unless you have someone to stand outside with your kid, then it, it it's cumbersome. Their rider switch area, like, is better than Disney's because they have like a waiting room up in the ride that like you and your kid can kind of sit at, and then when you finish you just kind of swap right there at the ride, like where you get on the ride. That perks to Universal. That's the best thing. But literally, I took my daughter who was 2 and she couldn't ride anything. She rode the dang carousel. They wouldn't even let her ride the Cat in the Hat ride, which is like Winnie the Pooh and Peter Pan. So, like, what? She can't ride this ride? Anyway. So if you have little kids, it's not ideal. So once I say like, hey, if your kid's like 6, then you can start going to Universal. You won't waste your money on it. But their Volcano Bay, bomb, fantastic Volcano Bay water park. So again, if you're going for like a short trip, like you just want to go for like a weekend or like 2-3 nights, I say go to Universal. You can easily knock most of it out in those 2-3 days. Disney, give yourself time. That is a marathon, not a sprint.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. What do you want people to feel when they book a trip with you? What do you want their feeling to be?
I make time to enjoy and relax on my Disney vacation. And yes, I go a lot. So I've done it all. I've rode all the rides except for Tron. I've stayed at 75% of the resorts, 80% of the resorts. I think I've not stayed at 4. But like, I have seen it all, done it all, but it doesn't matter. Like, if you miss out on a ride, you will live, but you're still on vacation. So I urge all of my clients, and I hope and pray, like, unless that's not you, but I like to, like, help my clients relax on their vacation, find time to enjoy your resort, especially if you're staying at a nice deluxe resort hop. I want to make sure that you have all of the information that, hey, if you're dining here, I want you to be like, hey, you're going to have to take the bus here, and you're going to then take the bus over to this resort, and you're going to want to leave this like, an hour ahead of time. Like, I like to make sure that you have a plan, because I know the ins and outs of everything and you may not. So I want, oh God, this is a long-winded answer. I want you to have clarity. I want you to have relaxation, and I want you to have freaking fun on your vacation.
Hmm. Why do you think it's important to relax on a Disney vacation?
Um, I think you experience the magic better, because it's so easy to get in there. You're late for a ride. You're snapping at family. You got tired kids. You're snapping them into the cart, the stroller. They're hungry. They're tired. And you get hungry. You get tired. You get grumpy. You get grumpy. You miss the magic. So, hey, if your toddler is tired and you're walking around, they fall asleep in that stroller, you know what? Go ahead on that ride. I'm going to sit here on this bench or walk around this area in this loop and just listen to the music. People watch. You know what I mean? Like, just feel the atmosphere of Disney. That is my favorite thing to do. And there you go.
I love that. I love that part of Disney.
But you know what I mean?
I know it's
Like,
a
just,
hustle bustle. People want to go, go, go. But you know
and they
what?
get grumpy and yell
They get,
at each other.
the people. Oh my goodness. And they're
But
yelling at
just
the
sit, like,
kids. The
sit on that
kids.
bench in front of that castle and just watch. Like, I have seen multiple engagements right there in front of that
Yeah,
castle, because you're just watching.
watching and people.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Oh, but I love it. I love everything about it too.
Mm-hmm. The smell,
Disney.
the sounds.
I
Mm-hmm.
have not booked anything through a Disney travel planner because
Well,
I
you've
live
always been a
here.
cast member. You've been a cast member.
I've been a
But, like,
cast member.
let's do that. Like, the last question, I don't know if you have another question for me, but I was going to ask you, like, as someone who's never used a travel agent, because you never really had to, but what would you tell people now that you know all of this?
I would never not do it. I live a busy life, a hustle and bustle life. I have no time in life on things, I feel. And to have someone book everything for me, I did have I've been on a trip before, and it was not Disney. It was a European cruise, and someone booked everything for me. It was fine. It was good. It was wonderful. It was a cool experience because they just did everything, and I just like showed up, and I'm like, okay, we're doing this and this. I had like some excursions to plan, but nothing crazy. But same thing. Like you get to still make it your own, but you have someone else do it for you, and it's no cost, and you can still
Mm-hmm.
work your 9 to 5
Mm-hmm.
job or whatever you do and not have to worry about it. So I would totally recommend it. I don't have to do it because I live here in
Yeah.
Disney, right down Universal.
But you could, like, here's something, like, for the hustle and bustle, right? A question pops up. Just fire me a text message.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to call a hotline. You don't have to search and
Yeah.
chat with a robot, right? You just shoot me a text message, and I
Yeah.
and I answer it, or I find the answer. So,
Right.
all right, we're running out of time.
What?
I think that's it.
Okay. Well, I mean, do you have anything else you want your listeners to know about you,
No, I
Miss
mean, everyone,
Jillian?
I think everyone knows at this point, like, my Michigander comes out in my voice. I'm from Michigan, live in Georgia, worked in Florida, for, gosh, how long was I down there? 9 months. something like
You
that.
were down. I remember the exact day you left me. It was a sad
Yeah,
day,
it was a
and I was
sad
still
day.
there. And then here I am, still here. Everybody
Still
left me.
here.
Still my home.
Uh-huh.
But you know what? I love it.
Yep. All right,
So
guys.
thank
Well,
you for doing this
yeah,
podcast
thanks,
because
Brandon.
it's amazing. And we love to hear about what you do
Mhm.
and all the different things. How can we find you?
How can we find me? Everyone knows where they can find me. Follow us at all social platforms at Spillin the Teacups. Brandon, where can they find you?
You can find me on Insta, bmiles06. I post a lot of fun things about my life and my journey through life that
Mm-hmm.
I'm going
Mm-hmm.
through. And yeah, find me
All
on
right.
Instagram, or you can find me at the parks sometimes.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.